The question is this: were the Detroit Lions the best teams in the playoffs? Do you agree with this tweet? If Dan Campbell was a smarter head coach, the Detroit Lions would be Super Bowl champions right now. They played the best in the playoffs. 49ers and Chiefs both stunk in the Super Bowl. Ravens were the best team in the regular season. Lions were the best in the playoffs, apparently with a non-smart head coach. I don't even understand. If there is a lot to unpack here, a whole lot. Flannel, where do we start with this thing, man?
All right, let me just go point by point with this one. If Dan Campbell was a smarter head coach, the Detroit Lions would be Super Bowl champions right now. I don't necessarily agree with that, although, and this is something that a lot of people disagree with me on, and I might create some headways in the chat and in this room, but I still think, and this is just because it was brought up, I'm not trying to belabor the point forever, that when the Lions were up 24-10 and they had that 4th and 2 at the 28 and had a chance for a 45-yard field goal, that they should have attempted that and took a 17-point lead. Because
what's going on?
Oh my goodness. Because in Michael Badgley's career, from between 40 to 50 yards, he was 77% for his career. But during his time with the Lions, he was 9 of 11, and then 2 out of 3 from 50 plus, and he also had a 54-yarder the week before. So I think that was the wrong move, but at the same time, I don't want to belabor that. As far as the Lions playing the best in the playoffs, you absolutely can't say that. And here's why. Because the Lions, they did win 2 home playoff games, spectacular, unbelievable accomplishments, but they were the favorite in those games. And then you can't say that a team that gave up a 27-0 second half run against you was the best team in the playoffs. And when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, because they were actually the best team in the playoffs, people seem to forget about defense, because the Kansas City Chiefs defense in the playoffs only allowed 16 points per game. They gave up 7 to the Dolphins and 10 to the Ravens, which were spectacular accomplishments in their own right. And oh, by the way, Patrick Mahomes had a great playoff run, and Travis Kelce had a great playoff run. And to say the 49ers and the Chiefs both stunk in the playoffs, I get it. The first half was a little bit boring to some people, but I also thought both defenses were pretty good. It was relatively sloppy at some points, but look at the second half. That second half was damn exciting. There were lead changes, there was overtime, there was pretty much everything that you could possibly want. So you can't say that they both stunk in the playoffs. And as far as the Ravens being the best team in the regular season and the Lions were the best team in the playoffs, the Ravens would even say, who gives a damn? They failed in the playoffs. They did what they always do with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. They went out in the playoffs way quicker than they should have. But I guess the one point that most people would care about here is, were the Lions the best team in the playoffs? Absolutely not. You have to say the Kansas City Chiefs, just because the Kansas City Chiefs, if nothing else, have a far superior defense and played that way in the playoffs.